All right, what I have today are a handheld passive RFID reader. This is from TSL. It's an 1128. It's one of many. Zebra makes one, Honeywell makes them, or Nordic, lots of them out there. It's going to be Bluetooth connected to, in this case, a Honeywell CT40 XP. It's an Android device. Could be any Android device. TSL, as a company, makes demo apps for doing various things, inventory. In this case, today's topic is really on tag finding. So it doesn't matter if it's a Zebra, a Honeywell, Nordic, all of these companies, for their handheld readers, they include some kind of Android and or iOS app that can do inventories and, in this case, tag finding. I like the TSL app. It's not to say that I don't like the others. It's just, it's a little bit more dynamic in terms of sounds and graphics and all of that. So that's why I'm using it today. And they work something like this. You start with an Android device, download from the Play Store your app. In this case, this is a TSL app called Tag Finder. And it tries to make a connection, make sure Bluetooth is on your unit. And when you take your handheld reader, pull the trigger, it'll go into discovery mode. And when it's made, if I've used the app before, sometimes it'll remember that. In this case, it does. And it says, I'm really ready to go search for a tag. And that's the next point, is that most tag finder programs are looking for one and only one tag. Now, some of them allow you to put in, let's say, a filter, like things that begin with. And in that case, we're going to use that feature here. So at the bottom of the TSL app, there's this uniquely matched tag or a few matching tags, right? It'll change maybe some of the mode features, configuration mode features, depending upon whether it's looking for 1 or 100 tags. But we're going to go look for 2 tags. And the difference between these 2 tags is they both have different RFID values. The EPC value is different, but it's similar. You can see this one's ABCDEF 99, and this one just appends that value with 1111. So what I want to start with is doing a search for that one, ABCDEF99. Okay. Now, since I specified that I wanted to do a few matching tags, it should also read this one. And the difference between the two physically is this is kind of like a previous generation tag with a previous generation chip and antenna. This one is a newer product, newer chip, newer antenna, and has a read range that is much higher than this one. Most tag finder apps are basing their wayfinding on signal strength. And it isn't necessarily a good measure of how close something is. Because if you have something that is previous generation and new generation, and you have them in the same position, Tag Finder app will show you that this one is stronger and therefore closer. But it isn't. Right? So let's just take a quick look at this. Again, I got my reader, and I'm up really close, so obviously it's going to fire, right? And I should get a decent read. Notice that on the, here, I'll hold this a little closer so you can see. The reason why I like this app is it's not just color, but it's a dynamic bar graph, and it's also a audible feedback. It's really quite nice. And if you can see, I'm getting up really close to get this thing to go red, right? And even at like a foot away, I'm getting something. And depending upon the tag and what's around it, I got a wood table here that's probably absorbing quite a bit of energy, RF energy, but I should be able to see. Here, I'm going to step away with this new tag and this one. I'll step away a few feet, and you'll see I get a certain range. And if I do the same thing with this guy that's sitting here, try to emulate that same distance, it's much lower. Okay, so I'm going to now that I have this thing configured, I'm going to go hide these materials. Or maybe have somebody else do it for me, and then I'll walk around in the office and show you what that process looks like as you're looking for 1 or 2 tags, okay?